Welcome, everybody, to the 2022 Franchise Broker Awards. I'm here with Jack and Jill Johnson. Tell me about this award you've received. What does it mean to you to win an award like this for your brokerage?
Well, first of all, really impressive intro. You guys are very fancy.
What can we say?
I think that clearly you guys, 1851 is known throughout the franchise industry, right? I mean, every time you guys post on LinkedIn, the whole community goes crazy. So kudos to you guys for building such a good, solid brand in franchising that really shines a light on so many professionals in our industry. Because there are so many people that work to make a franchise owner, to help a franchise owner be successful. So we appreciate you guys, and we appreciate just having the honor to get the award.
And so I guess my first question for you today is, what does it take to be a good broker?
Do you see all this gray hair in my head?
You really did.
Like
when we started, it was not like that.
I mean, I don't know that this is the kind of thing you can learn overnight, right? And I think part of the reason that we've had the kind of success that we have is frankly because we've got like 20 years in this. Between my days at Home Care Assistants and then us starting Franchise Insiders back in 2017. We've helped 620 people become franchise owners over the years. And so we've got this sort of this knowledge base of where people succeed and where people make money and where people are supported. And so we really can make the whole process of becoming a franchise owner really clear for those people that want to make a wise investment.
Can you tell us a little bit about what it's been like to go through the pandemic with a brokerage?
Oh, wow.
I'm going to defer to you on that one.
Well, it was actually very good for our business, but it threw a lot of curveballs at us. So like one of our main sources of advertising got cut. So it really forced us to reevaluate and look at different ways to get out there and get the exposure. We were dealing with a different crowd. People were a little scared, but also optimistic. It changed the focus a little bit about what people are looking at. For instance, certain industries were maybe not as popular when they were shut down. But there were a lot of other opportunities that we could focus on. So, it was a shift, I think. I wouldn't say it was necessarily a bad thing for our business. In fact, I would say
it was really
we did pretty well considering.
I mean, look, when I started at Home Care Assistants in 2002, the tech bubble had just burst. 9/11 had just happened. And then we had the 2008 mortgage crisis. And now we have, COVID. So, franchising is really consistent in that it tends to be, if you invest the right way in the right franchises, you'll find that you're going to live a pretty consistent existence. Like Jill said, the pandemic was better for our business. We did more, but we had record-setting years during the pandemic. And I know many franchisors and many franchise consultants also had the same experience.
And I guess the question would be, why? Is it because some of us have decided to participate in the Great Resignation? Maybe we tried something and it didn't really work, or after the pandemic here, this backside of it kind of. Or was it because we just valued that freedom so much that we wanted to start our own franchises?
I think it's really all those things. Yeah. But I do think that the pandemic brought into light this generation is different. It used to be that, working 12-hour days and working yourself to the bone, who could work the hardest, who could work the longest. That was the enviable thing.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people saw their parents work themselves into an early grave. And people don't want that. People want to make more money, but they almost want to. Let me take a quick step back. People want to make passive income, right? They know that when you invest in a franchise, it's not passive for the most part from day one. But if you do it right and you follow the guidance of your franchisor and you can appropriately scale your business with the right amount of franchise units, you can build your business portfolio to a place of real passive income. And so people came to us and said, look, COVID has really opened my eyes. Yeah. I've been working for the man, I don't know if we can say that anymore, but I've been working for corporate America all my life and I'm not getting ahead. I don't have the kind of money in my bank account to retire the way I want to. So I want to do something so that if this ever happens again, if I get sick, my family, we know money's going to keep coming in without my 9 to 5 hustle.
Because a lot of us who like to work, yeah, if we miss something, there's not that cool edge anymore to say I'm very busy, I'm very
Right.
busy. It's
Right.
not cool to say that anymore. It's really in style to be able to spend time with your family, to be able to have flexibility when it comes to a job and a career. So I love that perspective. So tell us about the franchisors. What should they be looking at in 2022 when it comes to finding a franchisee?
Yeah, I think it is sort of running right along the lines of what I just mentioned, which is people don't want to buy a job.
Yeah.
People want to invest. People want to own assets. It's like owning a house, right? Owning a house versus renting a house. When you own a house, you can improve it, you can make it better, you can make it more valuable. When you own a business, when you own a franchise, all that time you're putting in, you are building an asset. But people, they don't want to just have to go work, 12-hour days as a business owner. They want to be able to scale teams and teach teams. And that's where the franchise owner or where the franchisors need to dial up their infrastructure and their training and their operating systems to help franchisees build a big business in a business that does not require their 9 to 5 hustle, but rather takes advantage of their skill set as a CEO, as someone who can really look at the business from a macro perspective and then drive those teams to accomplish goals. Because, we say to people all the time, where you need to be in 10 years is having a portfolio of at least 3 different franchises, 6 different locations. And you should be able to consider 70% of your income to be passive, meaning that, if you're sitting on a beach in the Bahamas, your business is still run.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be great?
Be wonderful. We all want that.
Listen, that's what
all
ours does.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where you want to go.
Yeah.
So tell me this. I think I could be presumptuous and say I understand what winning might look like for you, and that would be the over 650 people that you've started with franchises. But tell me, what does winning look like to you guys as a family?
Well, can we do it quick too? I'm going to let Jill answer the family part, but I want to answer, what winning really looks like? Last week, we were sitting at a restaurant and one of our clients texts me and says, I love the franchise you found for us. I just made $26,000 on my first day open. A month earlier, a client of ours said, we did $44,000 on our first day open. Thank you for the recommendation. Thank you for guiding us. So from outside of the family side, that's what winning looks like, is our clients killing it. As far as family goes, Jill?
Well, I mean, again, we celebrate everything as a family. This is something, Jack and I work together. Our son, who's almost 7, he starts asking us about our clients and different franchisees, and we celebrate together. We're just involved with it together. We celebrate successes. Like Jack said, we get so excited. We don't mind when we get that text in the middle of dinner. That's exciting for us. We love when a client comes to us and says, what's next? Let's do another one. And so we just make sure that it's not a 9 to 5 to us. It's a 24/7, even probably more if you can do that. But we want to involve each other with it. We know our clients. We know what's hot at the time. We know, just about everything. It really has become a family business. So we celebrate everything together, and it's been fun to make it part of our family and to continue to, not let work get in the way. It's our life.
Yeah. And we've been there, right? We've been there at the beginning when the business was just starting and we didn't have a lot of money. And it's like, now to see where our business has come, it's like, one of my relatives texted me this weekend. They saw, that we flew down to the Bahamas last week, and we fly private occasionally. And they said, how do you do that? How are you doing that? And my message to them is, if we can do it, you can do it. That's the beauty of franchise ownership and business ownership, is whatever it is that your goal is, if you work hard and you follow the game plan, you can do it.
What does it take for a couple like yourselves to break into the business? How can people break in successfully?
Good question.
I think we had an advantage in that we came from it, right? our family built a franchise. And so we had already mentored hundreds of people on franchise success and ownership. I would say for someone that's breaking into the franchise, and I'm assuming are you talking about franchise consulting specifically?
Mm-hmm.
I would say this is the kind of business where you really, if you're going to do it, you need to embody a servant leader sort of mindset. You have to go in with wanting to help people first.
Yeah.
If you're just thinking about dollar signs and big commissions, you'll go nowhere. You have to really listen, and you have to know who the players are. So I guess my number one piece of advice would be, before you go out there and you jump on the phone and start dialing, go meet all the franchisors that you can. Figure out which ones people are buying and why. Figure out why people are succeeding with them. Really, that first year should be
it's a learning process, right. I think. I mean, I don't think anyone can, even with our experience, and most of it, to be honest, is Jack's, but I worked with him, so I learned through osmosis. But I would say our first year was, it was great. We did well, but we learned a lot. And we look back on it. It's like anything. You can look back from when you first started and kind of laugh at some of the things that you did, but we learned from it, and we continue to learn, and we continue to get to know the franchisors and get feedback from our clients as well. So that also helps us know, did we present the right way, or how to communicate with people? When you give them their first few matches, they may not love them, but we now know how to talk to them and how to communicate that, this is a starting off point. So those are the things that you'll continually start to learn. So I think the best advice for someone that wants to jump in is just learn, just be ready to not necessarily, I don't want to say fail at first, but you're going to have some setbacks, and you're going to, it takes a while to get into it, but the more you can absorb, the more feedback you can get from both sides, the better off you're going to be in the long run.
I think that's great. Yeah, what's so weird is that first year, I don't think we made a dime our first 6 months, but when I look back on it, it's like one of the most fun times in our life, because it was our business. It was our, it was our name, and everything was new, and there was no, I don't know. It's when I think back to it now, I'm like, how was it such a fun time? It should have been scary, but it wasn't. It was, starting a business is really, really fun, especially if it's your first time starting your own business.
Yeah. I think the expectations too, we tell our clients that as well. Don't expect to make, $1 million your first year. Don't expect to make any money your first year. And that's the attitude that we had coming in, and knowing that, I think, is what made it fun, because we didn't sit there thinking, we were just going to take off running. We knew that there was a learning curve. We knew that, it would take time to see that come in and build the business. So I think that's another thing, is just, like anything else, it's nothing's like a one-hit wonder, I mean, you've got to put the work in and, continue to learn and build, and you'll get there.
Jen, thank you so much for being with us, and congratulations again on your award.
Thank you.
Thank you.